Tori, what makes you feel the most vulnerable?
What makes me feel the most vulnerable is uncertainty and openness that comes with uncertainty. I think change too, when we are going through changes and uncertainty about certain things in our life, we always approach it, or I always approach it with an open heart, open mind. And when I allow my mind and my heart and myself to just be so open like that, it makes me feel really vulnerable. And uncertainty, not knowing what's gonna come, just makes me feel very vulnerable, makes me feel really scary and open. But it's good. We love it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's very fair. Uncertainty is like a solid one.
Yeah.
We are live with the first episode that Gato is making an appearance in. Transparently, I am filming this intro after we filmed the episode. I bounce back and forth between whether or not we make time to do it before or after, but I loved doing this episode, and I know you all are going to love this episode because it's my dear friend Tori, and she just has so much to offer the world through her own lived experiences. And when you think about authenticity and when you think about vulnerability and what those things really mean, I think she embodies those things very beautifully. And I'm saying all of this as she's in my kitchen. But we just had such a good conversation, so I know you're really going to enjoy this. I also wanted to touch on, just more personally, actually, something that comes up in this episode, which you'll hear soon, is this concept of healing not being linear and the feeling that it's kind of very up and down, but also just always there. And it's such a balance, I think, mentally, to be okay with growth and continue to experience it and open yourself up to it, while simultaneously like feeling light and joyful in your life. And that's something I've been struggling with a little bit lately, because after my mental health kind of rock bottom, I don't know how many years ago that is now. Let's see, it's 2025. So like 4 years ago or something like that. It's kind of just been a roller coaster. Like, I'll feel so much better, and then something else presents itself, and then I'll feel so much better, and then something else presents itself. But it's getting better each time. And the version of myself that shows up to battle whatever is presenting itself is stronger each time and more optimistic, because I'm starting to prove to myself that like these lows are not necessarily bad, because what comes out of them is a higher high. And I think that's kind of part of being human, is you learn how to not be happy all the time. You learn how to be accepting of all of your feelings and have awareness of how all of those feelings support you, and not getting too caught up in the low ones, or not getting too like needy with the high ones. And Tori's explanation of that is just so beautiful. And so I hope that you all gain something from this in the same way that I did, because it's really helping me in a little bit more of a low at the moment to have a different perspective. And she offers some very real and very good advice at the end as well. So stay tuned, and I'll see you at the end.
I try my hardest not to look at Brandon, because as soon as I glance at them, I feel like I'm just gonna bust out laughing. It's just
right now. I'm not.
right.
You're
my
never just sound.
That's my assistant.
Tori brought her own assistant today. No big deal.
Can we get room temp water?
Listen, I am pro room temp water.
The way I was like, I usually make like lemon water or something, and Brandon was like, well, she likes room temp water anyways, and I'm just like, okay.
Like a serial killer. ice in your water?
I like everything cold. I like everything cold.
That's serial killer.
Like my soul.
Right.
No, yeah, you're right. That is more serial killer. Anyways, hi.
Hi. Hi.
I'm so happy you're here.
I'm so excited to be here. Oh my gosh.
And it just kind of feels like the best filming week ever because I feel like this week is my friends.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone like that comes on, I usually know and have a relationship with, and some of them are my friends, and some of them are like new friends or whatever. But like, you're like friend. So it just feels so comfy and cozy, which is what I feel like this podcast is all about. So I'm very happy to have you here. And the last time we hung out, I mean, you and I just had like the most intense but like powerful and like meaningful conversation around body image and around beauty standards. And I mean, you have so much to share from all of your experience set, but I'm excited to dig in. So before we do, if you want to share just your name and a little bit about who you are.
Hey. I'm Tori Lerma. I live here in Los Angeles, been in LA for about 4 years now. Social media content creator, heavily based on makeup, beauty related things. I was on Sephora Squad for 2 years, a year and a half. That's how I met Melinda through Sephora, and Sephora's my life. I currently work at Sephora retail like twice a week
As well.
Yeah. So I don't even think I want to say like I'm juggling the two, because I feel like juggling, we think it's like struggle, but I'm like, I like the two. I like working part-time and then doing which kind of feels full-time, doing social media. But
Yeah,
I like
it's
it.
there's like a little tiny little like fruit fly flying around, and I'm like, if that fly is around your head in like one of the cut downs, I'm gonna be so upset. No, I know what you mean though, because being a content creator or just having any form of professional relationship to social media, whether you're just promoting your business or you're truly just a content creator or you're truly just a persona, like it doesn't, or an actress or whatever, it's so consuming. Like I think it's hard to say that you're not juggling that in general. I very much so sometimes envy people who like they don't use social media for anything in their life. I'm just like, oh,
I know.
Interesting.
That was me before I even started social media. I was such a private person on socials. Like I didn't even have my username be my name because I didn't like people just like searching up my name and being able to find me. Like that's how private I was. Social media was literally just a place for me and my friends. Never any intention of, or I just didn't, I don't know, not that I didn't see myself kind of like being an influencer and being, have a bigger following. I just think it was crazy once it actually happened, knowing how like private I was previously.
Did it happen like organically? I don't know if I've had this conversation with you before.
It did. It really did. I still kind of kept my like usernames, even like my TikTok when I was posting, and I think at this point I had like 25K on TikTok, so still really small, but I had like some following on there. My username was never my name when I first started. Same with Instagram. I was mostly posting on TikTok, and then when Sephora Squad happened, it became, oh, I want to post on Instagram. And when I had first joined Sephora Squad, my username was not my name. It was Save Your Machine. That's my favorite David Bowie song. I love David Bowie.
Oh my gosh, cute.
And I remember when I had joined Sephora Squad, people were like, oh, what's your username? Like, what does that mean? Like, why is it not your name? And I just kind of had like it didn't feel like me at the time. It didn't feel fitting.
Yeah.
So I finally thought like, okay, like, yeah, I'm Tori Lerma, like I'm going to change my username to be my actual name and see how that goes. And it was weird. Like something so simple like that was just like so it was, I don't know how to describe it, but
It's
it felt good. It felt
It's
good. It was
interesting
good.
how social media is just innately part of like our life and our connection and our like self-image, especially when you're using it professionally. So it makes sense that it would be like a moment of like branding yourself
That's
or
what it felt
in a
like,
way,
yeah.
you know?
And it was good. I liked it. I was like, okay, it made it feel more official in what I was doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it did happen organically to where I was just
With beauty content, like were you posting like makeup and stuff like that, and then that's how your following kind of started, and then you transitioned and were like, I'm gonna change my name.
Yeah. So it ultimately started when I started working at Sephora. When I started working at Sephora,
This whole episode
I
is
know.
just gonna be Tori try not to laugh at Brandon.
Brandon and I can never keep a straight face. That's the best
Yeah,
part
I've
of our
tried to
friendship.
film content with you both before, and it was like the best shit show ever. I was like I was literally in a bush filled with flies for like a minute and a half while you guys were trying to finish laughing so we could get this shot, but I was cracking up and I didn't even care. The energy you bring to content together is insane.
Oh my god. Hilarious.
You're like,
Back
where was
to
I?
no, okay. It started when I first moved to LA. I started working at Sephora, and I had always had such passion and knowledge for beauty and makeup, but I was just so deeply insecure. I didn't even believe in myself. I didn't
Yeah.
even think it was. My mom for years was like, you need to work at Sephora or Ulta, like you need to work at a beauty store, like you need to work here because you just have so much knowledge and you could make it a job, you know?
Yeah.
And so shout out my mom because she always believed in me when I didn't. You know, I was just like, no, I don't have the confidence it has to work at a beauty counter.
Yeah.
I always thought that. So I moved to LA, was living off of my savings and realized like, shit, I need to get a job. But I was so used to working in food service and just like random jobs here and there. But I was 21. I just was really searching for something that was going to make me feel like myself.
Yeah. Fair.
And I'm really big on your job should make you feel happy. You should want to go to work. Your job should be something that is just fulfilling to your passion. And obviously my passion was makeup. So I saw there was a Sephora hiring and I applied and I was so nervous. I was so nervous for the interview. I literally had a cheat sheet that I wrote about like just products and just really educating myself on brands and everything at Sephora. And then I got the job, started working at Sephora, and obviously when you're doing your makeup every day for work, you just get better and better and you start practicing and you find inspiration in practice. I feel like that's definitely what I found.
Yeah, it's like a ritual.
Exactly. I would just kind of like go on Pinterest and kind of copy looks or just I didn't really knew what I wanted to do with my makeup. I didn't know what my style was, but of course playing around practicing, I was able to find it. And I just got really good at my makeup. I was like, wow, okay, this is actually really fun. I really like doing this. I really like my job. I really like talking about makeup. So I just kind of started posting on TikTok for fun.
Yeah.
It always starts off as just for fun.
I know.
Just
I feel
being
like
silly.
it's so true. When people really enjoy the process of something is usually when it turns out to be something.
Yeah.
Which is
'cause
cool.
I didn't like post, and I feel like everybody says this, but it's just so true. I didn't post with the intention of like wanting to be an influencer and wanting this to be like, I genuinely was just bored.
Yeah.
And so people loved it.
I wonder how that transition was for you, like going from posting just because it was like, sure, like I like doing this, it feels fun, like I'm kind of bored, to it becoming like a job that you're getting paid for, that's sustaining your lifestyle. Like that must have been an interesting transition. And I know from being your friend, we've talked about there's been certain times where you're trying to like kind of figure out what your identity is online and what you want to put out there and what feels good, and you've taken breaks and like had to come back to it. Like, where are you at with that now?
Yeah, it's definitely been about the balance and finding what I'm comfortable with posting.
Yeah.
Because,
Boundaries.
yeah, being a media consumer, being someone who's on TikTok all the time, I mean, it's my job. I like think I need to put myself completely out there. And I do, you know, like I like to show my personality here and there. But we have to be so protective of our peace and, again, like what we want to share. And I mostly only really liked showing my makeup, showing me doing my makeup. And sometimes I didn't really feel super comfortable like talking on camera, or it doesn't mean I'm not comfortable with doing it. Just that sometimes
I swear that's always the hump. It's the talking to camera. Like, everyone is like, oh, I can do my makeup on camera. Like, I can create something beautiful. Because that's how it was for me. That's how it was for every talent I ever like coached on set and stuff like that. They're like, it's the talking to camera that just feels so weird that you have to like get over that hump. And then once you do, you're like, okay.
Yeah. And I can, but I definitely do prefer just kind of
vibing out.
Yeah, just showing. I
feel
like
that.
I like my socials to kind of be almost like a portfolio of my work,
Yes.
rather than of my personality.
Yeah.
Because I had the hardest time accepting, like, oh my gosh, I'm being perceived online. I'm like, people know me, and it's a great thing, and it's like, it's really sweet. And I would have people come into my work and recognize me, like, oh my gosh, you're on TikTok, and like the people are so sweet. But like the part of me deep down inside that has always been so private, especially with social media, is just kind of like, whoa, I'm on the internet.
The being perceived thing is really interesting. I had a guest, James, who used to help with the podcast. And it's also a makeup artist educator, very talented. And he was talking about this concept of being perceived. And I think he actually said he heard SZA talk about it. But she was like, I will not be perceived any longer. Like, and I have so much respect for that concept, because like our generation, the generations below us, like, we are just constantly putting ourselves out there, and putting ourselves out there in a way that opens us up to constantly being perceived and criticized. And like, people haven't really figured out how to, like, I don't know, social media etiquette is a long time coming.
Yeah.
So you have to protect yourself, because there aren't like guardrails or like rules that are going to help people be respectful of you. And I like the idea of putting your artistry out there versus your personality. And that's an interesting angle. Do you think that that potentially like brings you to more of like a makeup artistry direction, because it's maybe less of your personality and more of your work?
I think so, but I still like a part of me tied, because it's tough, because it's like, yes, I don't want to be perceived, but at the same time, I have gotten people tell me like, oh, your personality online is the same in person, and you're just like, you're so authentic. And I've gotten people like feedback on my authenticity, and that makes me feel more comfortable being perceived.
Yeah,
because it's like,
this is just me.
This is just me.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really feel. I've definitely gotten more like comfortable and more used to it. I think like when I had first started is when it was really hard to just like talk on camera and just even sit down and do a get ready with me and just talk about anything. I would sit in the front of camera like, what am I supposed to talk about?
Yeah.
You know, like I don't like, you guys don't really know me, you know, like I'm really just talking to my camera. It's weird. But I've definitely gotten like more comfortable with it, and I do still like having my socials be like more artistic.
Yeah.
But
I think that's just like who you are too, though. You're just a highly artistic individual. Like, your obsession with music and with your makeup and everything that you do is like a creative outlet, I feel like.
Yeah.
So maybe that just is your personality. It's not that it's more artistry focused. It's just that art is part of who you are.
Yeah. No, that was,
I like that.
That was like a really big thing when I had first, I guess, decided like what I want to do with my life. I had always loved makeup. It was always something that I felt was like my creative outlet. I always knew I was a creative. I didn't know like how or what. I come from a creative family. My dad's a creative. Like everybody on his side of the family is super creative. And it just felt like a big part of me. I didn't know what I needed to do to tap into that. For a while, I thought it was fashion.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go to FITM. I was like, great, I'm going to go to fashion school. I want to be a stylist. That's something I like wanted to do when I was in high school. But it still didn't really feel like me.
Yeah.
It didn't feel super.
Wasn't like clicking in.
Yeah. It didn't feel like as hands-on as I thought I wanted my like art to be, I guess.
Fair. Yeah.
That's why I do a lot of things with my fingers when I'm doing my makeup, because it just feels good to just like move
touch and feel.
Like touch and feel and move my fingers. I guess like when you're holding a brush, but it's just it feels different for me when I'm like using my fingers, and I feel like that has become my little signature.
Okay, from going from such like a private person to accelerating into someone who not only is putting themselves out there on their own platforms in front of the camera, but then joining Sephora Squad and putting yourself out there in front of literally millions. Like I think the reach is like 40 plus million or something like that across platform. Like, what was that experience like? How did that impact your self-image? Brandon laughing in the background again. We're trying to...
And their giggle just always gets me because it's just... Right.
It's okay. We need it.
I'm sorry, there's this really good BTS.
We need it. Brandon's taking the best BTS and giggling at it.
And
no,
I could
don't
like,
be.
It's funny. It's adding to the atmosphere.
Giving us comedic relief.
I could see Brandon's head the slightest bit in the mirror, and it's just
LOL.
It's so funny to see their little.
We need to give Tori like blinders. Like I'm not kidding. Like when you two are together, it's like scroll. But it's amazing. That's like that's how you know you're supposed to be friends.
What were we talking about? Oh, right. Yeah. Brain dead. No thoughts, head empty.
Us trying to take ourselves seriously.
It comes in waves.
Right. Okay, we were talking about...
the transition for you from being a very private person to not only going in front of the camera on your platform, which blew up, but also putting yourself out there in front of millions on Sephora's platform, and how that impacted your self-image and relationship to self.
It was so hard. It was probably one of the hardest things I had ever done in my career so far. Going back to, I was so deeply insecure, and I did a good job at hiding it, but I was also so shy. Like I was the most shy person you had ever met. I remember the days leading up to, because of course I applied to Sephora Squad, didn't think I was going to get it. It was just something I just did because it felt right. But deep down inside, I was obviously very nervous and anxious to be a part of it. And I was so nervous. I was shy, and it happened. And
what did it feel like? Like
I felt so proud of myself. I think once I overcame the anxiety, I was just kind of feeling like, okay, I could literally do anything. Like,
how did you overcome the anxiety? Like, was it literally just pushing yourself and doing it and then getting positive reinforcement?
Just making myself uncomfortable.
Yeah, because I think that's what it is, right? You just have to feel uncomfortable for a while.
You just have to do it, and that's okay. I mean, also, our bodies can't really tell the difference between nervousness and excitement.
Yes.
Because we just kind of have that feeling in our gut, that just like that butterflies of anxiety. It also can translate into excitement and something that feels good. So I just learned to listen to my body, that whenever I feel nervous, it's like a good thing. And it just kind of like uplifts
Means
me.
that you care.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you, I think for a lot of people, when they step in front of the camera in a big way like that, they start to get a lot more self-critical. I know I experienced that a little bit. I mean, gosh, we're all conditioned to be so incredibly self-critical from the get-go. So like some people are just already that, which I think was the case for me. But it kicked up a little bit, and there was things that I started to notice about the way I looked, or like, and like having to remind myself that the reason I stepped in front of the camera was to squash that kind of shit and be more vulnerable and be more open. And so I had to like check with myself. But like, all that being said, I feel like it's kind of inevitable. Like, how did it impact your image of yourself?
I feel like the first time I did kind of a really big shoot, of course I looked at myself and I was being a little critical, but at the same time, I learned to turn that into, well, it's just me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking at myself. You know, like, it's really not like insecurities and all. It's just me.
Yep.
I'm looking at myself. That's who I am. That's what I'm going to look like in front of camera. That's what I'm going to look like under all these lights in front of all these people. Like, who cares? It's
Good for you.
It's just me.
It took many years of me like seeing the most beautiful people go in front of the camera and then get eaten alive for me to realize it had nothing to do with me and it's just me.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you kind of had that in you to some extent already.
I feel like I had to be hard on myself in order to feel comfortable. And I think that part of like, okay, yeah, who cares if you look like that? That's you, girl. Like, grow up.
Yeah.
You know, I just kind of had to like beat myself up a little bit to realize that I can be comfortable and I can be confident because it's literally just me. Like, on
And then
camera.
you just like fell into it and it felt comfortable.
Yeah, and it made me gain so much confidence, which is something
I love that.
appreciate so much from all of this. Everything that I've done, I think the best part is I was able to tap into my confidence and not be so shy and exude this energy that makes me feel proud of who I am and not shy. Because obviously when you're shy, you just kind of want to like back up into a little corner and not put yourself out there. But that's really not going to do anything for relationships, friendships, opportunity.
Yeah.
And
just life experience in general. Like you don't have to step in front of a camera to have exciting life experiences, but putting yourself outside of your comfort zone in some capacity, I think is really powerful.
It was hard. I was already so vulnerable too since I had just moved to LA. So that change, moving out and just moving from being in the Coachella Valley, which is super small, living with my parents, to moving to LA, I was already just, it felt like
massive shift.
Yeah. So everything was all over the place anyway. So I think that's why it was just kind of easier to accept what was hard, because I was like, okay, well, what can happen? What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
I'm already here.
Yep.
You know, throw it all at me.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I don't think everyone would jump right in like that. Okay, so threw yourself in there. You're comfortable. You're confident. Where are you at now? And I don't know how far we want to go into this and the conversation that we shared recently. Like I just kind of assumed, but I didn't actually ask you if you want to talk about any of that here.
We could talk about
very directly.
We could talk about it.
Are you sure?
Let's talk about it.
Because like I can literally cut this out and we don't even need to give you the option, so you're not saying no on camera. I want to make sure you're comfortable. Because there's something about sharing from a place of, you know, like something that's still a little open and uncomfortable, and a place of like, so just because we could go a bajillion directions.
I would love to talk about it, but I don't know. No.
Okay, well let's talk about it, and then you'll go as far as you want. And then also if you say something that you don't want included, I can cut it out.
Okay.
Does that feel good?
Yeah.
Because I feel like all of this is so closely related to like what you do professionally, sharing yourself, putting yourself out there. It is, you're up against beauty standards, you're up against online hate, you're up against self-hate that is just kind of conditioned into us oftentimes, even if it's on like a subconscious level.
Yeah.
And it is inevitably going to impact our relationship to self and how we feel about the way we look. I know for me, body image is something that I've struggled with on and off. My mom struggled with it. People in my family have struggled with it. Most every friend I have had growing up has struggled with it. And we've touched on it a little bit on this podcast, but I've had an eating disorder. I've had a lot of growth around my relationship to my body. But more recently, I was telling you that even though I feel that growth and I'm so grateful for it, like I still am being challenged by it. So it's like, oh, okay, this is going on and like I don't feel good about myself. I've put on some weight or I saw this angle and I don't really like what it looks like, or my clothes aren't fitting properly, or whatever it might be that's in the back of my head. And I can sit there and it's better. Like I'm not going to go to the darker place that I used to go, but I'm still battling with it. And I think that battle with it is usually what prevents us from addressing it.
Yeah.
It's complicated because it's your health.
Yeah.
And then it's also your image. And where do you draw the line? And where is the pressure coming from?
I feel like sometimes
It's
we
so
just get
complex.
so hard fighting. Like, it's just so hard to fight the battle.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you just have to just kind of like shake yourself up. And like for me, that's how it was with like healing my eating disorder. And it was ultimately about feeling happy, like really happy about myself, because the first attempt was just kind of like, who cares what I look like? You know, everybody's going to love me for me. And I don't care about what social media has to say. If I've gained a little weight, if I've lost a little bit of weight, like who cares?
Yeah.
You know? But at the end of the day, that still didn't really feel like I was healing myself, because it just kind of felt like a little Band-Aid I was slapping over a
Yeah.
really big problem to be
Yeah.
like, who cares what I look like? It was a healthier attempt,
Yes.
but it still didn't feel like I was content with my healing journey.
It's interesting. It's become like cool not to care.
Right.
So I think part of that is like just part of our culture too. Like it's like we're also in a little beauty bubble in Los Angeles, but like the inclusivity and like the self-acceptance, like those are all cool things that like people that we look up to embody. And so I think it's easier these days to be like, oh, I don't care. I'm just going to put a Band-Aid on it, like you said. But like, how is it actually resonating deeply inside of you?
Yeah. And then you just kind of put off, your feelings. And this goes with just like mental health in general. I think I was not allowing myself to really feel pain. And I thought to myself, I'm happy. I was almost like gaslighting myself. Like, I'm happy. I have everything a person needs in life to be happy. I have a roof over my head. I have money. I have food in my fridge. I have friends. Like, you don't get to feel sad.
Yeah.
You don't get to feel insecure. You don't get to feel like your world's crumbling apart. And I allowed myself to feel that for so long. I didn't allow myself to feel unhappy. And again, it just kind of felt like I was slapping a Band-Aid on like so many problems in my life, to where it just eventually all came crumbling down. And I was just hit with reality of like, oh shit, I actually wasn't really doing anything to heal parts of myself, because I didn't allow myself to. Because I just thought, just like the toxic positivity, I just thought I should be happy.
Well, it's pretty tough. We live in like a wildly complex world where there is a lot of darkness in a lot of places, and we're thrown that in headlines and social media constantly. And so it's very difficult to look at other people's lived experiences and then live in LA, working in the beauty industry, and to be able to be like, oh, I'm in pain. because like we're comparing that to some very dark pain that is existing out there. But pain is relative. You know, mental health is relative to your own experience, to your lived experience. And to your point, unless you're allowing yourself to process and feel that, then it just gets stuck in you and then manifests itself in mental health and eating disorders and all kinds of things. Yeah, and how you view yourself, and like you can suppress, but it's a ticking time bomb until that just explodes in your face.
And then I just realize, okay, I wasn't healing myself now. Like,
what was that realization for you?
I don't even know.
Was it truly just like the last straw happened and you were like, oh my God, I feel
where I was
horrible?
like, no, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
Like, no, like yes, I have the things that I thought would bring me happiness, and I'm still really grateful of those things that like bring me happiness, but that's just like outside things. You know, like what about the inside part of me that I'm completely ignoring because I'm just not present? I wasn't being present with myself. And that was also a switch because I had always been a very present with myself person to completely not. I think I just kind of started to go crazy because I didn't really feel like I was present. And it was...
How did you notice that? Like, what was the difference in being present versus kind of being like unconscious?
When it came to like myself and just kind of, I used to meditate morning and night. I used to stretch with myself. I used to just be with myself. And then when I really realized that I wasn't doing that, I also used to journal like every single day. And there was times where I would kind of tap into that. Okay, let's meditate, let's journal. And I would open my journal and I realized it had been a few months since I wrote. And that's kind of cycle of realizing like, whoa. Or I would just kind of sit and meditate and I was having a hard time tapping into like my thoughts and my emotions. I was like, this doesn't feel right.
Do you think social media impacted that? So I feel like it does. Like, I feel like I have a very hard time slowing down.
At this time I was actually like on a big break of social media. I wasn't posting as much. I was just, I don't know what it was. I think I was just distracting myself.
Yeah, from the feeling.
Because I had like that Band-Aid I had put over everything just like blew up and I was distracting myself with a lot of things and I just it didn't feel natural or comfortable to me. And again, I would just kind of realize, wow, it's been a while since I actually really sat with myself and just was present with myself.
Yeah,
and I think that's when I realized I'm like, I haven't been present in this stage of my life.
Yeah.
And I don't like that because it doesn't make me feel like I'm comfortable where I'm at.
Yeah.
And what I'm going through and in this current stage of my life. And so I really was like, okay, no, I have to bring myself back to self and center. So I started journaling more. I started getting back onto my meditations. I started to go to the gym and work out, which is something I've never done before, but it was doing wonders for me to just kind of, it also helps that my gym is a boxing gym. So to beat shit up, it just feels so good to just kind of let it all out. I'll even have some trainers that are like yelling at us when we're punching the bags, like, let it all out. Like any anger or whatever you're thinking about, just let it all out on the bag. And it just feels good to get those endorphins. And
I think you're literally moving energy through your body
100%.
When you do stuff like that. Like sound baths can do that. Energy work of any form, but also physical, like
just moving your body,
running, shaking. They even say shaking. Yes,
the shaking. And so there's some trainers that do like fast feet, and so fast feet is kind of almost like the same movement of like when you're just like shaking your body, and it feels so good to be able to just feel my body. And again, I just never really felt present, and I never felt like I had control over my body at this period of my life. I just yeah, I didn't feel like I had control over my thoughts and my feelings, and getting back into journaling and meditating and stretching and moving my body, that all brings me back to center and makes me feel more present, makes me feel more myself.
Yeah.
And it goes beyond just that. It can translate into just feeling more energy, just being more open with my relationships, friendships, and social media too. It makes me feel more like, okay, yeah, I can film a video today. It felt wrong to create content if I didn't want to. That was
Yeah.
like my big thing.
I
Like
hear
I
that.
didn't want to
I've been there before.
I didn't want to go on camera if I was
Yeah.
feeling insecure or like deeply depressed.
I
Why
mean,
do I
who
wanna
wants to be that
right.
person that's like, you see, I feel like they've made like spoofs of this where it's like the content creator who's like getting frustrated filming and pissed off or like breaks down, or I mean, it's, you know, it's not that
Yeah.
it's bad, it's just part of the process for a lot of people, but it's at the same time like it feels inauthentic if then like you're filming something where you're not sharing that. And I think the base of who you are is very rooted in authenticity.
And that's why I wasn't really online at this time, because
Yeah.
I was just
Right.
lost.
Yeah.
I guess I just didn't know what I was doing. And yeah, so I like took a break and I was barely posting, but it honestly felt really nice because everything had all happened so quick.
Yes.
Like it was just so boom, boom, boom. I went from being, well, I guess I was always a busy person because when I started working at Sephora, I was working a lot. I was very busy. And then Sephora Squad happened and I was very busy with that. And it was amazing and I loved it.
But it's a different kind of busy when you're putting yourself out there, because
Yeah.
now you're like, you're filming and you're putting yourself out there. You're at events and you're putting yourself out there. Like you're constantly kind of in a way promoting yourself because you are your business. And so I think that's more exhausting.
It felt easier because I was working with like Sephora and Sephora Squad. So having my own, I think it felt different once I was trying to find the disconnect of like working for, like being my own boss, I guess. Cause once I tried to tap into like being my own boss, I was like, what do I do? How do I keep myself busy? How do I keep this like wave going? Because I was doing so good and I was like wanting to keep up with it, but I was trying so hard to find that energy within myself because I was feeding off of other people. You know, I was feeding off of just that outside energy that was keeping me flowing, and I didn't know how to find it within myself. So that's why whenever I was home, because I was just like, okay, yeah, I'm ready to be a full-time influencer. I'm ready to put all my hard work into this. And when I got to that point, I was just kind of like, okay, now I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So it was just really hard to find that like real push. It was hard to push myself to be like completely independent and work off of just myself.
I mean, it makes sense. You had to come back to yourself for a moment and pause to be like, okay, where am I at? Like all of that just happened so quickly.
Yeah, it all just
yeah
happened at the same time.
Why the hell is it so hard to do good things for ourselves?
It feels like we think it feels like a chore. It's just like, ugh, I don't want to do that.
Why is that?
I wish I knew.
Tell me the answer.
I wish I knew the answer.
I mean, I have been through a fucking healing journey or two, like for sure. And I know you know a lot of those stories that I've shared with you. And like, I feel like I am weirdly in one right now. Like, I don't feel very motivated. I'm having a hard time finding myself feeling happy, even though I know that my life is good and there's nothing like, you know, like and I think it's because I'm having a hard time doing those good things for myself, like the meditation, the breath work, the journaling, like the coming back to yourself, something that our friend Brandon behind the camera has shown me so beautifully is like doing things for no reason other than for yourself, you know, like just going for the going to the beach for the day because you want to sit there. It's not going to the beach because you need to film content there. Going to the beach and like, okay, I'll sit at the beach, but I'll also answer emails. It's like just being.
Yeah.
Like, we are human beings. We are not human doings. And that is so difficult to remind ourselves of.
Yeah. And it was finding the balance of like,
How
being
did you? How did you get back into like your ritual of that? Is it truly just like forcing yourself into that discipline?
I think it was just kind of like forcing myself.
I might
into
need
it
that slap in the face soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was, I mean, it was years coming. I mean, it wasn't easy and it didn't happen overnight. But yeah, I think I was a workaholic. I was working all the time. And again, to where I was distracting myself from the pain that I was feeling. And I just kept slapping Band-Aid over Band-Aid over Band-Aid to where I realized, no, I'm, because again, like prior to this, I was very private, very spiritual, very, I would meditate every single day, 30 minutes, day and night, like journaling every single morning and night. Like I was very spiritually in tune with myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just kind of lost it a little bit when I moved to LA. But that was always there, that just sense of wanting to be here.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think I just kind of, it was just like it's just that last straw feeling is just always kind of what does it for me, which is unfortunate to where I kind of have to reach a really big breaking point in order for myself to be like, wake up.
Gosh, I feel like that's everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely, I feel like that's me. And all you can hope for is like each time that happens, it's like less low than the time before. Like you're catching yourself and moving into that a little bit sooner than the time before.
Yeah.
So you don't have to like fall into that dark of a hole and climb back out. But like, that is the experience. It is kind of, I just wish there was a way that we could, as a human species, figure out that these things are so good for us and want to do them. And I think it's training the mind after a lifetime of being conditioned of the opposite, like productivity, hustle culture. Like you have to be this, this, and this to be worthy, to be important, to be, It's just so frustrating. And I think that ties back to our image. I think it ties back to how we spend our time. And ultimately, it's just sad.
Yeah, I think also most people think that their outside relationships, like their friends or family, matter more than themselves.
Yes.
And we kind of can get lost in that to where it's like, no, I want to prioritize, like we prioritize our friendships and our relationships and our family way more than we do ourselves. And that can be so bad. And I think that's what I was doing. And you just reach a point where you're just like, wait, I don't want to lose myself though. It's just kind of like, you just kind of like see yourself in the back, your little shadow, and you want to keep that close because you don't want to lose yourself. And that's how I felt like I was starting to feel. And that's why I took a break. And that's why I was like, no, okay, I need to find myself back again. And now I'm in that phase of being here again. And I feel like I can say like, okay, I'm here, I'm home. I can give myself a hug and I'm feeling more like myself than ever, and it feels great, and I'm glad to be here.
It's a fucking journey though.
Yeah,
I'm so happy to hear that for you. And I when we were sat down for lunch the other day and we were chatting through some of like the body image stuff, and just like, I think that was part of what I was trying to express to you, and I wasn't sure how to express it. And for myself too, because anytime you're connecting with someone on something like this, like a difficult subject, mental health, body image, illness of any form, it's just like you're healing yourself through the connection. Like when you opened up to me and I got to share with you and we got to share with each other, like it's like a healing circle.
Yeah.
You know, like it's helping me just as much as it is you to listen to your experience, and then for you to listen to mine is so helpful too. And what I was trying to get across is like, I think lately I've been thinking about this concept of the up and down of healing. Like, it sounds so cheesy because it's said everywhere, but like healing isn't linear. Grieving isn't linear. Like any sort of healing just isn't linear. And so you can think that you've gotten past like this big hump, which you have. Like for me, like I said, like my eating disorder, I was binging and then I would purge. And I through my healing journey, I got to the place where I was no longer purging, but I still was binging here and there. And then I was being very self-critical and hateful around it. And then like, you know, for a while afterwards, like I would still get like the urge occasionally. And now it's like I've gotten to the next level where, okay, maybe I'm not feeling like I'm binging and purging, but I might still binge occasionally. And then I'm like beating myself up for like that week. And then I'll get past that. And then the next level might be like, okay, maybe I'm not binging, but I'm feeling the urge to, and like, where's this desire for control coming from?
Yeah.
And how can I get to the source of that? And it's just constantly like peeling off layers of like an onion. Yeah. I feel like for your entire fucking life, and it feels so exhausting. It feels so exhausting. But then I also love the concept, like I heard, who was talking about this? I heard someone was speaking about it. They're like, I'm so fucking sick of hearing about people talking about healing. Like, can we just all try and live? And I'm like, yes, but that too. I'm like, okay, we're healing constantly, and that's part of being a human being. And I think if you stop healing and growing, then you're probably not doing it right. But simultaneously, it's such a fine line before you start to just like lose joy, because you're constantly consumed in that. And so like, where do you find the balance? And like right now, as I'm kind of phasing back into what feels like, I don't know, just feels a little heavier lately. I don't know. I'm like, where do I find that balance again? But this is something I haven't thought about before when these things have come up. So this is a new part of the growth, I suppose.
And it takes time. I mean, it took me like, God, I struggled with my eating habits for years. But it took me this past year or two to really be like, okay, no. You have to take the steps to really feel like you are healing and healed, and you are ready to, because there was just so many times where I was like, okay, I'm back to self, feeling real nice and centered, but then there was just like that part of my brain that was not healed yet, and it was really hard to heal. I mean, eating and body images, that's like something everybody deals with, especially as women. And I did a good job at hiding like my deep insecurities within myself, but it was just about, I had talked about where I was just like, okay, well, who cares what I look like, and how that was just kind of like a big
kind
fat
of like
Band-Aid.
Scary good at hiding it, because like I've known you for the past like and I don't feel like I ever sensed that in you.
I did a really good job.
Yeah, but that's what's so wild is we all do a really good job.
That's why it was scary, because I thought I was like fine, but I really wasn't.
You were almost like tricking yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just kind of how I was dealing with all of my emotions and struggles for the past couple years, until I made that first attempt of like, okay, I don't care what I look like. Who cares what I look like? And then I like, who cares what I look like a little bit too hard.
Yeah.
To where I found myself in a place of even deeper insecurity, to where I had really woken up and thought to myself, I care what I look like. Because here I am in this place to where I'm allowing myself to eat and be happy and healthy in my eating habits and not control my eating. I was just kind of eating whatever I wanted and just kind of intuitively just had no thought about it. which was the first time in a while where I allowed myself to just eat. And then I reached that point again where obviously I had gained so much weight and I was so insecure. And then I went back to, my brain was like, didn't you say that you didn't care about what you look like?
Right.
I was like, shit.
Yeah,
You're right. I was like you're
not to me too this, but like same.
Yeah.
Like, that is how I felt.
It's like you think you do something and your brain is like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
you're wrong.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of like the wake up call that triggers you to also be like, shoot,
Mm-hmm.
you're right. And that's how exactly how it was for me.
And that's real. Like
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Like I'm so happy we're having this conversation because that is so much more real and so much more inspiring and something that people can connect with than us just being like, no, we don't care about what we look like. That's an incredible message.
Exactly.
To be like, I care about who I am on the inside, not as much as what I care about who I am on the outside. But that is not also the reality of the
For
world
some
we live
people,
in.
exactly. Yeah. For some people, it's just like they can't just say like, oh, who cares what I look like when they're struggling with like,
I think for most people,
yeah.
like, I think most anyone who's like, oh no, I don't give a shit, like at all. I'm like, unless you were raised in like a different culture
Yeah.
that I'm not aware, like,
Yeah, it's just like, okay, like that. Yeah, of course, that's a great message. But again,
it's a
like,
fantastic message. That's aspirational. I would love that. But like, I also don't want a bunch of people saying that and then not truly embodying it. And then the people who can't get there feeling like they're doing something wrong.
again, it just can be like such a big fat bandage. And then, yep, that's what happened. I was like, wait, no, I actually do care what I look like. What now?
Yeah.
And then that's what led me to being like, I gotta go to the gym. I want to like. Then we had talked about how I didn't want the gym to be a place that I found, well, I want to work out because I want to be skinny and
Right.
pretty. I want to go to the gym because I want to be healthy.
Yeah. And that's
And I
a
wanna
much
feel
more
happy.
sustainable perspective.
Like, I don't want to have this relationship with a gym where it's like, oh, I can't eat this burger unless I go to the gym tonight or if I go to the gym tomorrow. And it's really, it can be such a really fine line that I try so hard not to cross. And it's just all about the balance of just, even if I work out once or twice a day, it's better than nothing. Because
once or
at
twice a
least,
day? You mean
I
once
mean,
or twice
a
a week?
week?
I was like, don't set
You're
those
like,
expectations
girl,
for me.
What? Yeah, so once I had gained weight, and it was healthy weight, but it was healthy weight, but to me, like looking at myself be a little bigger was triggering, and the fact that I wasn't fitting into my clothes,
Yeah,
and
that's frustrating.
I wasn't leaving the house, I wasn't going anywhere because I didn't comfortably fit into my clothes, and that was just kind of, if I truly, in my head, I was like, if I really truly don't care about what I look like, I wouldn't feel this way if I put these pants on, they're a little too tight.
Yeah.
Or I wouldn't look at myself in the mirror and like feel deeply insecure and upset at myself and how I view myself. And that's when I realized like, no, I care. So then I was just like, okay, well, I have to, because I eat healthy. I'm a healthy person, but
Very.
I don't move my body. I don't go to the gym. I don't exercise at all. And obviously, if you're just, you know, not and not watching what you eat, because I'm a healthy person, but I wasn't being that healthy during this time because I think I was just like so restrictive.
Yeah.
To where I was just,
when you restrict too much, you end up kind of, the pendulum swings the other way.
yeah. And I realized I needed to start working out and move my body so I could feel healthy and happy, and also just feel like a jellyfish. My body always just felt so stiff.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like I was mobile. And I just, at my young age, I don't want to feel like I can't move my body. Like, it's nice to
Yes.
move your body and to work out and stretch. And I remember the first workout class I went to, I also went alone, which pat on the back for my past self, because I would have never gone to a workout class alone.
Hell yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? I remember walking in there, I was a little scared. I was a little nervous. I mean, I'm an anxious person. Everybody's a little anxious. And I was just so overwhelmed. I was like, what is it's a boxing gym. So it's like 45 minutes of boxing mixed with like HIIT training. And it was also just really like high vibe, high energy. So I really liked that. But I remember I walked out of that class feeling so euphoric.
Ugh.
Like I just like, I felt like my body felt so light and I felt so good. And it was just like a drug. I was like, oh my God, I need to come back. I feel so good.
And that's the thing. It's like exercise is such a healthy thing for us mentally, physically. It makes you feel good. It's an outlet. It's moving that negative energy outside of your body. But I think because we get so locked into the concept of it being an avenue to skinniness or an avenue to beauty standard, it's like we get fixated on that concept and it creates like self-hate. And then that self-hate cycle keeps us from doing the thing that we want to do.
So toxic.
Because the intention is coming from a toxic place versus that good place. And when you're talking about like it feeling good and wanting to do it for your health, like that's why I was like, that's what's so sustainable. Yeah. But it's very difficult to shift your mindset and create that practice and like give your mind that validation enough times in a row where it can become habit.
Yeah. No, it's just I'm just doing it to like feel it. Also, it's meditative for me.
Yeah.
And that can also help again to be more present with myself. Because it's just like it's 45 minutes where you're just not on your phone, you're not doing anything, you're just like working out. And it's just like you're doing breath work when you're working out. You're counting when you're like counting your reps or whatever, and it can feel so meditative. And I think that's why I leave a workout class and I feel like so light as a feather mentally and physically.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how I want to keep my relationship and how everybody should have a relationship when it comes to working out. And yeah, I was really proud of myself and it feels really good. And
I'm proud of you. I'm inspired, honestly, because this is what I'm not going to say would like to do more of. Like I've gotten myself into the ritual of my walks, which is great.
Walking is great.
It's
for you.
great, but
So great.
I think my body and mind is craving that like sweat. Like,
oh my God,
I
take
need like an outlet.
a boxing class with me.
Yes.
I have a guest pass.
I would love to.
So
Honestly,
fun.
I would love to. It sounds like an amazing outlet.
There's a Rumble in Burbank.
Let's do it.
Oh my God,
I'll come to you.
please.
I don't care. I'll come to you.
It's so fun.
I'm super down. Let's plan that. I need all the inspiration and motivation. So
Brandon's
I
coming
appreciate
with us too.
Brandon's just gonna punch us both in the face.
Yeah, and
I went to a boxing class. I hurt my coccyx.
Brandon,
oh yeah, we took a boxing class for the
coccyx.
first time. That's actually what inspired me to take the class because I went to this boxing. It was an event. I really just thought it was just going to be like some fun, silly event. And like, thankfully we all showed up in workout clothes because it's like, they're like, okay, the workout's starting. I was like,
Like a brand event?
yes.
Okay.
It's like, oh, and then like brand events do this. Like I've seen like yoga or like cycling. Like Brandon went to like a cycle class.
Like when we went to Aloe, we went to
yeah.
Any boxing event. It was a boxing event where they were playing a video of Tori because she was the model for the
yeah, this
Wait,
is Freck.
Brandon
so
says,
so I was a model for Freck and I did a campaign for them and they didn't tell me what the videos were going to be used for. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Like they're just going to be used for their own like personal thing. And they're like, oh, there's this event we're going to use to promote the product. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. It didn't even like cross my mind that I could be on like the promo video for it.
Yeah.
I show up to this event. Everybody's like, oh my God, your face is on the screen in there. I'm like, what?
The star of the show.
So we go and like get our little gloves on and there I am like playing on the projector at this.
So you're like boxing for the first time at a beauty brand event while your face is being projected onto a screen and everyone else is staring at it and you in the same room, probably. Hey, talk about being put outside of your comfort zone.
No, yeah, it was, but that was like one of my first group workout classes, like boxing class. And that time I remember leaving feeling like so good also because I was just really proud of the promo video that I had did, and also because I just hit a punching bag with two of my best friends. Like, I
Yeah.
felt great.
I'm a big, like, as you know, woo-woo universe sends us signs person. And I just feel like the fact that the event that was projecting your face was the first time you boxed, and is now boxing is like your love, like the exercise that you've fallen for. Like, that's some universe
Yeah.
shit.
I know. I just,
That was like,
literally.
Tori, this is for you. Like,
Yeah,
quite
after
literally.
the class, I was just like, whoa, I need to go again. And
That's so cool.
their studio was in West Hollywood, so far from me. And I remember I was like Googling and searching all these boxing gyms near me, and there was none near me. I was like, damn it, okay, I guess I'll just like work out at home. But then they
You just start punching your couch.
I'm like, damn, I guess I'll just punch my couch cushion. And this gym had opened up near me, and I was so
It had just opened
excited.
up too.
It had just opened up. They opened up in March. Shout out Rumble Boxing.
See, this is all some universe
Need to
shit.
be sponsored, but I'm not. But it would be amazing.
Rumble
because
Boxing, sponsor her.
Rumble Boxing, sponsor me and my friends so we could come to your classes because
And the
they're
podcast while you're at
yeah,
it.
they're absolutely amazing. Rumble Boxing in LA.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and it's fun and it feels good to just.
Oh, I'm so happy you found that. Honestly, like you opening up, having that conversation and sharing a part of yourself here too, it means so much, not just for like what I'm trying to do with this podcast, but also personally, because we're all just mirrors to each other and we're doing our goddamn best. And I think we each will go through phases where one of us can be a mirror to another when we need it the most. And you have been that to me recently, and you sharing with me really shifted something in me and really helped me. So thank you. I love you. I knew I was going to tear up at some point in this episode a little bit. So here it is. But as we round out, I want to ask you, because you have this incredible set of experience with being a private person, putting yourself out there, getting out of your comfort zone, like getting past toxic thought patterns and habits. Like, for people who are out there, myself included, and you know, I know we're all constantly healing. I'm not saying that you're done. It's forever. It's a journey. But like, for people out there who are listening that might be in the midst of the struggle at the moment, like, is there anything that you'd recommend to kind of help them return to themselves? You know, we talked about meditation and journaling. Is it like how did you get yourself back into that?
Be hard on yourself.
Okay.
I think we can sometimes, for me personally, this can be different for some people, but I was too nice to myself.
Shit, girl, I feel like you're talking to my soul right now.
I was too kind to myself.
I'm too kind. Okay. I'm shook by this.
I was too nice to myself, and I had to really like slap myself in the face and be a little bitch and just make yourself uncomfortable. Be a little mean. And I think that can really
mean in the right way.
Yeah. Obviously, like, don't put yourself down, but don't sugarcoat shit. I do that so much to myself. I'm like babying myself. I'm like, oh, you're okay. You're doing okay. You're doing so. I'm so proud of you. But that isn't. That's not sustainable, and that doesn't.
It's kind of enabling.
Exactly. And it just kind of feels like, again, I feel like Band-Aids has to sponsor this video too, I guess.
Gato making his first podcast appearance.
Gato is sick and tired of you taking away his sleepy space.
Speak into the microphone. Say meow.
He's pissed off.
Okay. You did so good. Thank you for being here.
Hi.
No, I feel like you're speaking to my soul. I think I do that. I think everything in life is such a spectrum, and nothing is black and white, and everything is a gray area. And it's so easy to go one way or the other. and we talk about positive self-talk and loving ourselves. But there is a line, right? You go too far and you're enabling behavior that doesn't make you happier or healthier, then like, is it really for the best
Yeah.
for you? Like, so that's really good advice. I appreciate that. And I think I need more of that. So thank you.
That's why we're friends.
Forever. I love you so much.
I love you.
Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Tori Lerma, Lerma. There's 2 A's at the end, Tori Lerma with 2 A's. And on TikTok at Tori_Lerma.
Find her. Her content's amazing. Her artistry is amazing.
Thank you.
And she's just a really cool girl. I appreciate you very much.
love
Thank
you.
you for doing this. Like, something that Tori and I talked about in this episode was like the idea of kind of forcing yourself to perform when you're putting yourself out there on social media or on camera, whether that's part of your profession or not. I feel like I'm feeling less and less of a tolerance of it. So even like filming the intro for this episode, we didn't have time to film it before. So I mentioned in the intro earlier that we're filming it afterwards and Tori's here. And like, it's so funny as humans, we all try and trick each other when really what we crave is what's real, and it makes us feel so much more connected. So I will continue to try and do that here. But now I'm filming the outro for this episode. So hi. I hope that some of this storytelling and some of these personal experiences that both Tori and I shared hit some of your hearts and help some of you in the same way that our conversation helped me. Having her on to the podcast has been, like, since I started the podcast, has been an idea that we've talked about. But when we met for lunch recently and we just like so organically dove into such vulnerability with one another and how much it helped me, I was like, I really want to have part of this conversation on camera because I want to share this and be able to help others too. So I hope it did. As always, please let me know in the comments or wherever you want to reach out to me on Instagram, DM, whatever. If there's certain topics that you want us to double tap and dig a little bit more into, I'm always open. I'm just kind of like intuitively doing this shit, you guys. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to have fun with it and bring a little joy into my life through these connections and create a little change in the beauty space and bring more vulnerability to it. So here we are. And the things you say at the end of a podcast, like subscribe, like, follow, so that you can see the next episode that comes out. Please do leave a review if you think of it. It's helpful, I think, with the algorithm and all of that. And I'll see you all next time.